So, shifting our attention to the edge of town, right where the forest starts, we see a dragonborn male who is um, young, 26 years in age, about 6'6", bulky for, dragonborn, lustrous emerald green skin that's shimmering in the sun, and his eyes are like obsidian glass. And you see him, and he's kind of Gibbs, give me a survival check, please.
Oh shit.
Okay, yeah. So Gibbs, you have kind of zeroed in on this area because this was where one of the townsfolk said that they saw bear tracks.
Ooh.
And you were like, huh, that's interesting. There's not typically bears around here. So you chuckle and go to the edge of the forest. You start looking and find a set of tracks. And a lot of them have been buffed out throughout the day. But one track remains prominent. And you notice that on the left footprint, the pinky claw is missing, which is a dead giveaway. Because that claw is carved into your pipe.
Oh, well, where the fuck's he going? Gonna follow the tracks.
Yeah, you're able to follow the tracks and the directions, and you go into the forest for about maybe an hour and a half's travel, following broken branches and, tufts of fur that you found, like, caught into trees. And there sits just a small little setup camp. The fire isn't lit yet, because he didn't want to give himself away. And, but the wood is stacked. There's a small tent. You see that your friend, your Ursaring friend, is chopping firewood. And without looking up from what he's doing, Bodger says, I knew it wouldn't be long till you found me. Lays down another chop on the stump, cracking a piece of firewood in half.
I walk over to approach him and I very loudly say, well, of course it didn't take me very long. You were so lazy out there, I could track you from a mile away.
He goes, I got drunk last night.
I'm gonna look around for wherever his drink is. Where is it? Share it.
So you know where to look, what to look for. Roll a perception check.
Oh shit.
Okay, not bad. But you know what you're looking for, because, this is kind of a ritual with y'all, so you zero in on it. He got a flask that he pilfered off a dwarf in Phandalin.
Wow.
That is a flask of never-ending ale, and you find it right next to his pack. You grab it, and you take a swig. And it's just as delicious as every time. It's kind of like bitter, like, it's not bittersweet, but it's like a sweet taste of victory. Like, you found him, and like, now this is your reward. And you're like, oh, this is amazing.
Fantastic.
He walks over to the fire, and he says, we warriors give thanks to the spirits of life that are about to give us this fire that will provide us warmth. And then he casts prestidigitation on the fire. Well, no, he wouldn't do that. He's more about, like, being one with nature. So, yeah, no, he would use a flint and a rock, and he starts the fire, gets it going. He, skewered some fish and rubbed it with salt, and he puts them, on, in the ground next to the fire, and then puts a kettle over on a stick and hangs it across the fire.
Nice.
And he has you sit down, and he said, I heard rumors that a dragon was in town, but I had a feeling it was just you. He sits down.
Well, of course it's just me. Who else would you expect? As if there's actually going to be a dragon walking around.
He goes, I don't know, maybe a real fight.
Oh, yeah, because I didn't kick your ass last time.
I was drunk.
You're always drunk! I take another swig, and I pat him on the back.
He chuckles and, catches up with you, and he says, just wanted to stop by and see you. Hear you're gonna be on a job soon, so I too gonna be on a bit of a job. Heard tale that, there's an empty dragon's nest to the north. A lot of adventurers are heading that way.
Oh yeah, is that why there's a dragon walking around then, eh?
Yeah, but I don't know. Something about it seems fishy. Almost
I'm
feel
sure it's
like,
long abandoned. There's nothing there.
Yeah, but you know how it is. Dead adventurers in the woods. They always got the best stuff on them.
That's true. That's true.
So I'll probably be poking around in those woods for a while if you want to come find me. Whenever you're done doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah, I might. We can compare our spoils and see who came out on top.
He says, oh, speaking of, and then he grabs his knapsack and he starts reaching in there.
I try and see into his knapsack.
He does that thing where he turns his body to the side and it's just no peeking,
I just grunt and shove him. Take another swig.
So he pulls out this little golden badge, right? It doesn't look like much. And he goes, guards up, and he throws it in the air, and the projection of a shield starts hovering around his body.
What?
And he said, nicked that off a guard while he was sleeping in an alleyway.
What the shit is this? What?
That is an animated shield. He goes, let's see you top that.
God damn it! And I just take out my axes and I just shove them in his face.
He's like, oh yeah, I haven't seen those before.
Shut up!
Says, guards down, and the badge falls into his hand. And he's like, yeah, maybe when I'm bored with it, I'll give it to you. And he puts it back in his...
And I just eye him.
About that time, the meals are ready, so he hands you a couple fish skewers. He put 10 in the ground because you're both big eaters, so, so you enjoy the local taste of river fish, and they're actually quite delicious. And the salt rub that he used, you can tell that it's from the mountainside that you found him in a couple months ago. So that's kind of nostalgic in a way as well.
Oh.
And then he says, I do have one gift for you. And he pulls out a small tin, and he says, found a really nice elf. Gave me some moon leaf. Figured you could use it for your pipe. And he hands the tin over to you. So you have a little, 2 gram tin of moon leaf.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are there any, special effects from it, or...?
You'll have to smoke it to find out.
Nice, nice, nice. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. He says, yeah. Don't say I never did nothing for you.
Well, I mean...
And he's saying it lightheartedly, he's just kind of messing with you.
Yeah. I just kind of, turn and keep drinking from his flask.
He lets you, he's like, yeah. He says the same thing. He's like, maybe one day when I get bored with that thing, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, maybe
He's
that'll
been
happen
saying
faster
that
than the other
for years.
10,000 things you've said that about.
He's been saying that for years, and he has not gotten bored with a single thing that he's ordered. Fire goes out, and about this point, it's pre-dusk. And he says, well, reckon I should pack up and get moving. It's good seeing you. Try to stay alive out there.
Yeah, it was good seeing you too.
He's already pilfered back his flask of ale. He takes a swig.
Shit.
And do you smoke any of that moonleaf with him, or are you just gonna save it and find out? Either way, I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'll smoke some with him before I go.
So, anytime you spend a short rest smoking that moonleaf, you use. So we're gonna have to do maths here. So like if you used 0.2 of a gram and you had 2 grams, that would be 10 uses. I'll give you a freebie use. So you'll have 10 bowl packs basically. Anytime you spend a short rest smoking that moonleaf, it counts as a long rest.
Oh,
But yeah,
awesome.
he lets you smoke. He doesn't really. He's like, I find it weird smoking my own foot. You do that? No.
I packed the bowl that has the piece of claw on one side with the bear face screaming, and the piece of my tooth on the other side that has the thunder beast face screaming, and the smoke comes billowing out of both the mouths.
Yeah, you feel so relaxed. Like that 10 minutes feels like an eternity. Like you feel so comfortable. Like you have achieved ultimate zen, honestly. Like that's how you feel. Bodger says his goodbye, gives you a punch on the shoulder, like a light one, not like he meant it. He's
Yeah.
not trying to start nothing with you.
Because he'd lose.
Maybe. He's drunk. And he says, well, you vaguely know where to find me. I'm sure you'll be around one of these days.
Yeah. I'll see you again soon.
He's like, yeah, I'll have more things to show you that I'll get bored of eventually.
No,
Yeah.
Sure.
He gives one final thanks to the ashes of the fire.
I join
Returns
him.
them to the dirt, and then you both kind of like do the clasp hands bro fist, and then you part ways.
I watch him leave until he's completely out of sight before I leave the camp, just to make sure that there's no, like, trail of our existence in the area.
Do a survival check. Perfect. So yeah, you both are doing a great job at covering your tracks. Like you start out, like making sure you're avoiding tree branches. Like you already kind of de-shed your scales this morning, so you probably don't have to worry about loose scales falling off. And then as you turn around, you see that Bodger's kind of doing the same thing. Like he's avoiding trees, he's not stepping on branches. He probably let you find him earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man, we're doing good.